Welcome in to College SportsCast. We are presented by the Fanboys. Welcome back to College SportsCast. We are doing our game day pick'em for College SportsCast tonight. We are again presented by the Fanboys. And right off the top, I have something that I want to say to everyone that is listening. And so it'll be on the air. John Hammonds is stepping away from College Sportscast. So I want to make sure that that is known. He has a little personal issue that he needs to take care of, and he's stepping away. And that's probably all that I'll say about that. But I do want to put it out there that he's stepping back and stepping away. So with that said, I have John Roberts with me. Hey, John.
Yo, what's up?
I have Jason Harrison with me tonight.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, man. So we've got about 12 games picked out here for college basketball, and we're going to talk about those 12 games and do a little picks for you on these games for the three of us here. And we might throw in anything else, really. It doesn't matter.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, there might be something else in there somewhere. I'm not sure.
Hooligans.
I mean, this is possible.
This is live. And nobody knows what happens when it's live.
That's so true. Is there any news or anything that you guys want to talk about in the sports world in the last few days?
Oh, the last few days.
So the home winning streak, the nation's longest home winning streak, is no longer Auburn.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, right.
I think you had it for a couple days.
You got to say that for like one or two episodes or something. Yeah.
Well, we had to say it until their next home game. Their next home game, they couldn't defend it. Like
right.
They won. They won the last couple of games were on the road. And so when Gonzaga lost, Auburn's next game was on the road. So they won a game, but they were on the road. They didn't extend the streak while having it. So
with that being said, I think the ranked teams in the SEC the ranked teams in the SEC will be challenged from here until the SEC tournament.
Yes, because at this,
because I was going to say Alabama. Alabama had to come back and fight with Mississippi State. Everybody
tooth and nail to a team that Auburn beat pretty handedly.
See what I'm saying? So that SEC man, any night. You're not
just like Kentucky got beat at home by South Carolina, and then Tennessee just absolutely took them to the woodshed.
Yes, exactly.
But then Kentucky beat Tennessee, so it was kind of
But Tennessee had to. Was that their last home loss? Was Kentucky correct?
Yeah.
They
haven't lost since.
That's what I'm saying. So so now you have to get that, and you got to play well coming into this weekend when they finna go against Texas. So they had to play well. You see what I'm saying? So they had to play well.
So we get to call
Kentucky
this.
had to play well too. Kentucky was in a situation where they had to turn it around, or they were fixing to lose their season.
Yes, or else.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I was trying to think of college baseball, some stuff has come out with college baseball as far as rankings. I know that
Right. There's been several
two or three,
publications that
different rankings and stuff. College baseball starts, I believe, right after Valentine's Day or right on Valentine's Day, maybe.
Valentine's Day is a Tuesday. It will be the Friday after. So, like
Friday
the weekend of the weekend of the 17th, 18th, 19th. I believe that would be the weekend right there.
Opening weekend for college baseball.
Also, Mel Kiper came out and his number one quarterback was not
Bryce.
I know who his number one quarterback was.
C.J. Stroud. I asked that question. I was like, hey. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, was he basing it on the current team picking, or was he basing on a trade that
he wasn't basing on anything. He had
no.
Stroud.
I think that's just his list of number one quarterback.
His first list. That's his first list. He always flies his first one.
Right. Yeah.
But it wasn't Bryce. I think he had Bryce going to the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken. If I looked at that correctly. He had Stroud going.
I think there's at least 4 quarterbacks this time that are in the conversation of who will be the first quarterback picked.
No doubt.
And there, Anthony Richardson would be number 5, and I would be surprised if he jumps. He might jump to 3 or 4, but I'd be surprised if he jumped to 1 or 2.
Now that that Carolina has named their head coach as Frank Wright, would Anthony Richardson fall to 9, or would Carolina trade up? Would they trade up and get somebody other than Richardson, or would they pick at 9 and most likely get Richardson?
Well, the 2 names that I have heard that Carolina likes is Richardson and Will Levis.
Right.
I don't believe I'm not too sure that Will Levis will still be around at 9. He could be.
I don't think the quarterback, and I could be going out on limb. Even though there's some good quarterbacks in this year's draft, I just think they're good quarterbacks. I don't think they are transcending. I don't think that Joe Burrow good.
What
Joe Burrow's an anomaly, though, man.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see any. The closest one to me is a Kentucky quarterback as of right now, because kind of like we're seeing in the NFL.
He's a pro style quarterback that can be that can easily adapt to a pro style offense.
Yeah, exactly. So the others are, they usually utilize their legs, and we're finding out more and more that the defensive guys are getting faster. And so that's why I think top 5 picks are going to be all defensive picks.
Possibly. You have to see what the needs are.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Who drafts and where the trades go and everything.
It wouldn't surprise me if somebody don't trade up in Chicago's spot just to take a quarterback.
Because if Chicago picks at 1, then they're not. Yeah, they'll go defense.
It'll be defense.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be defense.
And you'll be looking at either Carter or Anderson off the board, number 1.
Now, with the number 2 pick, what are you going to do with the number 2 pick?
I mean, again, who was it again?
I think it's Houston.
Houston.
And they need a quarterback.
Are you a quarterback away? I think you can get another quarter. It's going to be a quarterback on the market. Are you a quarterback? Is Houston a quarterback away?
If they only drop to the 5th spot or the 6th spot or something like that, then yes, a quarterback will still be there that they could probably get. So if they trade down to that, then yes, they could do that and still get the quarterback, and it'd be somebody else that comes in and takes, and then again, you'd have to figure out who's trading up and what is it that they need. So
I just think
would it be a Carolina that came all the way up And
Carolina, I guess they will be, and their quarterback away. I think they have a pretty good defense so far. I think injuries really derail them at times, and a lot of dysfunction, but injuries really, really derailed them. They had a pretty good defense.
Right. Yeah.
Who that's the third? I'm just saying that. I know that's off the rip. I was just thinking about that and doing that football deal. Like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the last show we did was a mock draft show. So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to dig into some college basketball. There is a pretty big weekend this weekend of college basketball games. A nice slate of games. You got the Big 12 versus the SEC that's playing this weekend. So you got 10 of those games that are playing this weekend, and they're all there's at least 4 or 5 of them are pretty big games. There's 2 or 3 of them that, they're all right. But there's 4 or 5 games that are good games to talk about. So we're going to start. Yeah, we're going to start with one of those, and that's your Auburn Tigers. We're going to start with Auburn. Number 15, Auburn plays at West Virginia. It's always a tough place to play, and they're coming off a home loss to Texas A&M, and so does Auburn rebound at West Virginia?
The question is do they rebound at all? Do they get rebound? Are they boxing out and getting rebounds? No. So West Virginia's got good guard play. This is a team so far. Auburn is getting crushed by any team that has good guard play. If you've got a guy that can go off for 25 points in a given night, that team will give Auburn fits. And if you look at the teams that have beaten Auburn and look at what the formula was, I mean, just think about it. Okay, so you had Georgia, right? Georgia had good guard play against Auburn. You had who was the Memphis? The Memphis guard went off against Auburn, right? Last night, Auburn got beat by good guard play. West Virginia's got a couple of them, right? That average over 20 a night. Am I wrong in this?
You're right.
Okay, so
around 20.
That's a problem. That's a problem for Auburn. And now you're asking Auburn to defend something that is a problem for them on the road.
Well, let me ask you this. Last night against A&M. A&M has a trapping, kind of half-court trapping press, three-quarter court press. Did that bother Auburn last night? And the reason why I'm asking is because West Virginia is going to press. That's what they do.
Yes, so that definitely bothered Auburn because the point of what they were doing was get the ball out of Wendell Green's hands. Because if the ball is in Wendell Green's hands, then Auburn becomes dangerous because, again, everything is in play. But if it's out of his hands, then you've now taken the biggest threat away. Right. Because he can do a lot of different things with the ball in his hands. And their whole goal the entire night was get it out of Wendell's hands.
Yeah,
and
I mean
that's exactly what happened. And they bullied him all night. And anytime, even and again, they hit. They then turned the defense into offense right there. Right. Scored on any of the turnovers, or they first half went off and hit 6 threes. I think they only hit 1 the rest of the game, but they hit a bunch of threes early, and Auburn just does not have the offense that produces good guard play in the effect that, like, Wendell Green isn't going off on a nightly basis for 20. KJ not going off for 20. You're
right. I was just asking because at West Virginia is going to be a similar style.
Right. And I don't see that. I don't see them going off and doing that. So the only way that Auburn would win this game is if they just became locked down on defense and they prevented the guards from going off. If they were able to prevent the guards from going off, they've got a shot.
Right.
But if you've got multiple guards that you're having to defend, I don't
what's your pick, Roberts?
It's going to be West Virginia.
All right. Ooh. We got the Auburn fan going West Virginia.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
and I'm not going against what Auburn does the rest of the season. I'm just going against Auburn in this one game.
I got you.
It's not that I've gone like, we're packing it in.
West Virginia.
No, we're not.
Huggins is a tough. He presses. It's a tough play.
It's a bad matchup. It's not gonna it's a bad matchup. That's all it is.
Right.
And it's just not something that's it's not a like I'm not throwing in the towel for the season for Auburn, but I'm just saying that this game just happens to be a bad matchup. And I just don't see them winning.
Yeah. I can understand where John is coming from. I can understand. I can actually understand, but I think Auburn, and he's right. I understand, and he's right. It's too much window with the ball. I think Auburn, when they're moving the ball and they're running their stuff, but they are driven by defense, they're a very good team. Like you said, when they have their defensive pressure going, they're rebounding, they're out in the lanes, and Alan Flanagan is up flying down. You know, everybody, they're moving, they're having fun. They need to play with energy. But when the game gets to be a half-court game
and sloppy and press and messy,
He's right. Now West Virginia's going to do that. So I'm thinking that the Texas A&M game helped them
maybe
on the road against Virginia. That's what
possibly.
I feel. It happened.
Yeah.
Now, because I did watch West Virginia. West Virginia has some big boys under there. They got some big, and they're not little boys. They big bodies, just like Auburn. So from a physicality standpoint, they're not going to be able to impose that will. So like I said, I get and I understand, but I think Auburn guards, they come back and they play better. I believe Al Flanagan going to play better. I bet they're going to make shots. Now, that's the key as well. If they're not making shots, they're not playing defense, and then it becomes, well, let me see if I can get it going instead of if we can get it going. And it's too much dribbling, too much going on. And so like I said, he's right, and I understand. But you can just get better from your last game. And I think Auburn goes on the road. I think Bruce Company and his staff, they're going to do a great job of preparing them for that, because, like you said, it is a hostile environment to play in, no matter what type of ball club Bob Huggins has. Because one thing you know about his team, they're going to fight, they're going to play defense, and they're going to muck up the game. And so, yeah, I totally agree.
Yes, it's kind of like this game, the A&M game either.
I'm taking Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like what you're saying. This is either going to be a game that prepares Auburn or exposes Auburn. That's what that A&M game is. It's either a preparation game or it's a, hey guys, this is the blueprint. This is how you do it. So
exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if Texas, if Auburn has learned, or if they
Harrison
get beat again.
I think I'm going to go with Harrison on this. Y'all broke this game down pretty good. So I'm going to say that Auburn. I'm going to say Auburn rebounds and goes into West Virginia and steals a victory. And I just think, and it's a very tough place to play. And, so it might not happen, but I'm going to pick Auburn in this game.
You're saying clean sweep by Johnny Broom? Sweeping off the glass, right?
Yeah.
Broom, broom, broom.
Yep, Mr. Broom.
The broom, broom room.
That's right.
The broom, broom room. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to think of any other, but that's about it.
All right, so our next game, we got Xavier's going to on Saturday. Creighton's played a little better as of late, and they were a preseason, actually number 10 team. They're actually sitting at 12-8. Xavier 17-4 and number 13 in the country. So who you got in this game, Jason?
Man, I always like shouting out names, and my guy who played a stint with me, Trey Alexander, he plays for Creighton.
Right.
They have won their last 3 games, and
They have.
home court is a big deterrent.
It's a big game for Creighton if they could win it.
I want to pull for them, but I watched Xavier play the other day.
Yeah.
And man, hey, listen, coach has done a remarkable job of coming back and establishing what he left before he left. And,
First year.
Man, listen, I mean,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man, the man can recruit and the man can get something done. And his teams are gonna play hard. But with that being said, Creighton is playing better. They're trending up. I'm gonna pick Creighton.
It's at home. It's at home.
Yeah, it's at home. Even though I want to go to Xavier because they look so good, but I just know their role. And I was telling earlier, those ranked teams, these guys Final Fours, so they know, hey, if I beat this ranked team, look here, the trajectory of our season can go another way. But I'm gonna go with Creighton.
All right. John Roberts.
I was kind of feeling the same way with just going on the road, and with Xavier playing, playing well and everything like that. And I was thinking the same thing, going on the road, and I felt like, I feel like Creighton's gonna pull it off at home.
Okay. I mean, and you guys might be right. Xavier has been playing really, really well. Creighton went through a kind of so far, if you looked at their season, kind of a mid-season slump. They started out good. They've won their last 3, and then they had a little slump in the middle where they lost, 4 out of 5 or something there, and was looking kind of bad. But they do have a really good starting 5, and they're playing at home. I'm gonna go against you guys and pick Xavier. Both of you pick Creighton, so I'm just gonna be different and pick Xavier in the game. I think's what I'm gonna do. Got to be a little different here on the show, so I'll take Xavier.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Playing the field. Nothing wrong with that.
Our next set of games, we got NC State is playing at Wake Forest this weekend on Saturday. NC State is 16-5, and Wake Forest is 14-7. I'm kind of putting this game up because these two teams are kind of in that, third, fourth, fifth spots in the ACC. And I think the winner of this game is definitely going to have an advantage for the NCAA tournament. I think if Wake loses this game, sitting at 14-7 and falls to 14-8, they might be on the bubble after this game.
Big games, a 3-way tie. I'm looking at North Carolina State, Wake Forest, and Syracuse are both. All 3 6-4 in the conference. So a head-to-head matchup. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's a big matchup in the ACC.
Pretty big matchup in the ACC.
Yeah. So what do you think on it, Harrison?
Man, it's going to be a good game.
It's at Wake Forest.
It's at Wake Forest, and once again, Appleby, hometown kid.
And I'm not sure. NC State had a guard that got hurt last week and was actually in the hospital on Monday.
He got carted off on a stretcher at the game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
It was at the end of the game.
I'm actually not sure if this kid's going to play or not. So,
well, if he's important, I didn't see the game. If he's an important person, that could change the outcome of the game tremendously.
Yeah, that's the reason why I want to tell you, because before you pick, actually NC State may be without one of their top players.
Man, okay. See, like I said, Appleby, kid out of Jacksonville, Arkansas, Tyree Appleby. Man, I can tell you a bunch of stories about that kid. But ooh. Now, I mean this is gonna be a hard one because if he play, because we're picking early, right? And we find
Right.
out he's playing,
Yeah.
I would go NC State. But then if he's not playing, I would definitely go Wake Forest. So
Right. That's
so
kind of
but
where you're at. I mean,
I'm
that's
yeah.
probably where we're all three at with this game, probably, to be honest with you. If he's not playing, I'm probably picking
But
Wake Forest at
who
home.
is the kid now? Who's the kid? I want to make sure that I mean, like I said, obviously.
John Roberts, do you know the guy's name?
I
NC
can't
State.
remember. It was the second or third. I mean, I had 4 games going on at the same time, and it was one of them, so I knew that it was happening. I just didn't. I wasn't paying a ton of attention because it was while other games were going. While what I, so it wasn't the
I
the
can tell
first thing that I was watching. So I couldn't remember, but I do remember seeing the moment that I turned it on. He was on the ground under the basket, and there was, everybody was, all the NC State guys were around him.
Smith, yeah, this Smith, Jaquavian Smith, and if I do see correctly, Jaquavian Smith, who is leading in scoring?
I'm pretty sure he's a guard. I just don't know enough about NC State, about their different players.
I'm trying. Yes.
And there's a couple of guys on the fan boys that would be, if they're watching, they'd be like, man, because there's a show called The Wolfpack.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's a pro. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, he leads ACC in scoring at 19 points a game, 14 assists, 6-1 goal. Yeah, that.
Yeah, he's one of their top players.
Yeah, that really, yeah. That really is something different. I'm watching the play right now. What happened?
Yeah, see, they got beat after that too the other night. They lost that game.
Yeah, they were down 10.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I think they were playing North Carolina, right?
North Carolina, right. It was 49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they lost by about 10 or so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Wake Forest will be my pick, because unless he's playing, yeah.
Well, that's probably that's what I'm going to do as well. What about you, Roberts?
I was pretty much the same there.
All right. I mean, that's what I figured on this game, so I wanted to throw that in there. And the next game on the slate is one of the Big 12 SEC games. We got number 2 Alabama at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is 11th the season. Alabama had been playing stellar until this last game. They kind of struggled at Mississippi State. Mississippi State did play a really good aggressive game. Chris Jans had his guys playing, and Alabama pulled it out 66-63. I think it was last night, maybe Tuesday night. But
no, it's last night because it was they were getting whipped at the same time Auburn was getting whipped until Alabama decided to actually play at the end of the game, and Auburn could never put anything together. And that's fully.
It was home game.
Well, Alabama was down in double digits earlier in the game.
That's what I'm saying. Both of them were getting whipped at the same time, but Alabama was able to fight back.
Both of them were getting whipped.
Yeah,
they were both getting whipped
that's
at
right.
home.
That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa and up there. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough in the state of Alabama last night.
Right, and
so is Alabama
already
going to
started.
turn it around? Are they going to play like they have been at Oklahoma, you think?
I think it's going back what Robert said earlier about a team. He said it was about Auburn. It's just the blueprint. So, because Mississippi State, but you also got to have a player. You have to be physical with Alabama.
Yeah.
On the perimeter and inside. If you can make it a physicality game, but you got to be able to sustain it. And I think that was the only thing wrong with Mississippi State. They just didn't sustain it for a full 40 minutes. That's it. But I don't know if Oklahoma has the players to do that, so I'm going to be going Roll Tide.
I know Roberts ain't going to say that.
I'm not going to say that, but I am going with the pick. So,
I did all that. So
I mean, it's like you wouldn't be running around going Hell State, and you wouldn't see somebody that wears maroon and white running around going Hotty Toddy Gosh Almighty, and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
That's
right.
why I said. That's why I said I know Robert's ain't gonna say that.
Like if I did this to Brad here, right, with Louisville, right? I mean, I could do that. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with
Alabama. The team that wears crimson, will win.
All right, I'm gonna go with Alabama in this game.
Or are they cream?
I really like this Alabama team, to be honest with you, man. They've got some really nice pieces on this Alabama team. And the Sears kid and Brandon Miller and the Gurley kid. And I mean, they got some
Did you
really
just call somebody Gurley?
they got some,
didn't you?
I did. They got some really nice pieces on this team. And even their big guy, I mean, he's got some skill and got some talent, and I really like this team. I think they have a chance for a Final Four. I really do.
They do. They got, like you said, they got star power.
Yeah.
They have guys who can actually get it.
I'm definitely going to go with Alabama in this game. The next set of games, we got number 12 Iowa State 15-4 at Missouri 15-5. Missouri has won a couple of big home games. They beat Kentucky, they beat Arkansas, and now they get number 12 Iowa State coming in at home in this Big 12 SEC matchup. And Iowa State has won a big game recently, and then last weekend they lost a game. So, but the Big 12, Big 12's a tough conference to play in. So, is Missouri, is the Tigers going to show up at home like they do sometimes?
I mean, I want to pick my guy, D. Gates and company, Coach Young over there. I want to pick those guys because they got those guys playing extremely hard, playing together. Yeah, and they're getting everything out of their players. I just think
if Kobe Brown's got to be a big one.
Yeah, I think this is a bad matchup for Missouri, man. Iowa State is a good. Let me stress it again. A good team. And they play the right way. Listen, I could describe them so vividly and so gracefully because they play the right way. They play for one another. They play hard. They compete. They shut up. Listen, as you can see, I'm going with Iowa State, unfortunately.
Iowa State. All right. What do you say, John?
So, before I pick, Brad, send the link. Second, send the link in that text thread, so they can,
to the fanboys.
Yeah, into that one. I had it in the business for whatever reason, so just send the link to the show right now, so they see it. But I'm gonna go the opposite of you. I know that they play the right way and everything like that. And I'm just going to say that, Missouri's been so up and down, whether they play really good, really bad, really good, mediocre. I think they play really good this time. So I feel like they're going to play really well, and we're going for that roller coaster ride. And I think this is one of these type of games versus one of these type of games. So, I'm gonna go Mizzou this one because this is truly a 50-50 coin flip.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty much a 50-50 coin flip. You just don't know at home which Missouri team is going to show up. Like I said, they have beaten Kentucky and Arkansas. at home.
But,
So
we saw like in that time that they were playing Kentucky. Kentucky was not doing so well, and
right,
Arkansas
they were on a
was
skid. Yeah, yeah,
also beat up and not doing so well either.
yeah. They were definitely on a skid. Arkansas's kind of been on a skid too. So, um, but I am gonna pick Missouri. I believe in this game, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with Tigers in this game and take the home team. I think the crowd's gonna make a difference in this game, and I'm gonna pick the home team.
We'll go for the Midwestern team.
Go for the Midwestern.
Yep.
'Cause they're
So I'm going to take the
both.
Tigers. The next game, we got Cincinnati 14-7 at number 3 Houston, who is 19-2. Does Houston rebound from their loss this week?
I think they're playing. Did they play tonight? I think they're playing tonight. Or was I seeing something wrong? I don't know if they played.
I just had it up, but I got off of it to send the
I
link.
don't know who that was. That was Memphis. That was Memphis and SMU.
I'm gonna give the simplest answer. Yes.
I'm going to ride his coattail. Houston. At home, Houston. They definitely rebound after that.
It is at home, but they lost at home to Temple on the weekend.
Temple's trending up. Temple's coached by, you forgot, they have a hell of a coach down there. McKee. What's his first? Is it Aaron McKee? I think it's Aaron McKee.
Yeah,
he's
Aaron
coached
McKee.
at his alma mater. So, and he has a good looking team as well. So, but Houston.
Is Temple better than this Cincinnati team who's 14-7? Because Temple's record don't show it.
Exactly. But like we kind of said earlier, the ranked teams, when they have opponents, they're coming and they're throwing their entire kitchen sink at the ranked teams because they want to change. They want to change the trajectory of their season. This next win against a ranked team, you know what that does for the coaching staff, for the players? They start to believe, you know what? Coach was right. Hey, we need, this game. That's one of those games. Every time you play a ranked opponent, well, I'm not gonna say they should be thinking like that, but hey, that's how I would think, and I think most competitive basketball players think that way.
I don't know who's operating the Winning Edge Sports Network page right this minute. It's Give Me Missouri over Iowa State. It's either Jay or Ant, Cliff. I'm not sure who it is.
One of you people.
My guess is Jay. My guess is Jay.
No. We got Frozen Brad.
I don't think I was, but maybe I was.
No. Well, maybe to them. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
Brad.
Jay.
Brad.
I told
Brad.
you. My guess.
Brad. I gotta say something. Frozen Brad. Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Uh-oh, now we got Ant. Next game.
Yep. So y'all picked Houston, right? Both of you?
We did. Houston does not have a problem.
All right. I'm going to take Houston to bounce back home this weekend as well. Our next set of games, we got number 11 TCU is playing at Mississippi State. I put this in because Mississippi State has been kind of on a downward spiral since the SEC played, but they did just play well last night against Alabama and almost beat the number team in the country last night. So TCU at home, did Mississippi State find something last night where they can play well against TCU? That's basically my question.
Mississippi State is one of those inconsistent teams since they've been in league play. but I believe they're right there, getting over the hump. But listen,
Nope. Hey,
you
hold on. They don't get over the hump. They play in the hump.
getting over the hump. You see what I'm saying? Hey,
They don't-
listen, if you say,
Oh.
that's like me. If I say hell them, I can't say that. So you see what I'm saying? So I can't. If they can get over the hump, but I don't think they get it over the hump against TCU. I think TCU
No.
is just too good,
No,
too
no,
big,
Jay,
too tough,
no.
too good. TCU.
All right, TCU.
It's what was in the fridge today. I hadn't gone and gotten anything local over here. Sorry. And to see if I could hide it. Didn't really do it. Didn't do a good job there. Yeah, look, I fully agree. What we saw last night was more of an anomaly with Mississippi State. Not, that's not the the norm right there.
Right.
And what we also saw was a team that could hang, but we ultimately got the better team won the game, and the better team is TCU. And I think that they'll come in and they will. I wouldn't be shocked if TCU win double digits on this one.
Yeah. I just want to say this about Mississippi State. I do really like their new coach, Chris Jans. I think he is going to do well down there. He started the season out real well. After last night, I believe they fell to 1-7 in the SEC after last night. So they got a little work to do. TCU's been playing really well. I'm going to take TCU to come in and get the win on the road on this game as well. And our next game is part of the Big East or the Big 12 SEC Challenge as well. It's Arkansas at number 17 Baylor. And Arkansas has been in the top 25 all season long until about a week ago. They finally did fall out. They started 2-5, I think, in the SEC. 1-5, I believe. They started, and so their next game, guys. What do you think, Jason?
It's gonna be a tough road game for Arkansas. I think that I think Baylor's gonna play some man, but they're gonna play zone. They're gonna play zone against the Razorbacks and make them make some shots. I think their size is going to bother them as well.
We'll take a Miller Lite sponsor, Ant.
Man, listen. I think Coach Musselman will have his troops ready to play. Now, if they come out and compete, man, and you know what? They could make shots. But, listen, they really got to make shots against Baylor on the road. They have to, or it's going to get ugly. With Baylor running out, because they got some guards who can make shots. And they got some guards who can paint and make things happen, and they can be real dominant on the inside. Arkansas got two Texas guys coming back home to play. And so I know with Anthony Black and Walsh, guys being from the state of Texas.
That sounded like a law firm right there.
Black
Anthony Leg and Walsh.
Black and Walsh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I don't foresee Arkansas coming in and making shots on the road against Baylor. I think Baylor just overwhelms them and Baylor runs away with it.
Okay. What do you think, Roberts? Does Arkansas do something against Baylor at home in Waco?
No, they don't.
You don't think so?
No.
All right, man.
Baylor wins.
All right.
By more than a tusk or a horn or a snaggletooth, whatever you want to call it.
I think Scott Drew's done a real good job at Baylor, and this Arkansas team has been struggling since they lost Nolan Smith, and they lost Brazil, and this Arkansas team has been struggling since they've lost a couple of players. I know Brazil's gone for the season. I think
Nick will be back. I think Nick will be back.
I think he'll be back. That's what I was just getting ready to say. I think he'll be back. So, but until then, I'm going this game at home for the Big Sky Conference. All right. I'm going to go with Baylor at home in this game. And we have, let me scroll up. Our next set of games, we got number 20, Miami is playing at Pittsburgh. Miami is 16-4, and Pittsburgh is 14-7. They do have a couple of big wins this year, and it's at Pittsburgh. So this is a pretty big game in the ACC on Saturday.
It is. And let me go to Pittsburgh. If I'm not mistaken, have they won their last two games?
Yeah, I know they won the last game. I know.
Okay. Game comes on at 3, I think. Well, yeah. I'm talking. They've won the last 3 out of 4. They beat Georgia Tech, Louisville, lost to Florida State, beat Wake Forest. Georgia.
Yeah, that loss to Florida State is the one that scratches your head a little bit.
Yeah. Florida, but like I say, like for the ACC. Oh wow. And Miami has. I think Miami's been winning as well. I know
Miami is 16-4, so I mean they're right up there in the conference. Clemson's leading the conference, but I'm pretty sure Miami's second.
They're 7-3. They have a game behind Virginia. But yeah, man, it's just going on that road. In Pittsburgh is 7-3 in the conference, so it's like, man. But I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. Jeff Cable, he's gonna have his squad ready to play. Miami, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
I picked the Clemson game to talk about. They're playing somebody they should win. Jay. All right, John. Who you taking in this game? Miami at Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I'm going with my winning edge game of the week. It's the Pittsburgh Pitbulls. I don't know why I did that. I just feel like it was something that I should have done.
I'm gonna go against all of y'all, taking Miami Hurricanes to go on the road and take them from Pittsburgh. The Florida State game the other night just convinced me that Pittsburgh shouldn't be in the top of the ACC.
And you know what your pick is? Wrong.
No. Yeah, I'm taking Miami, man. See, Ant said he's taking Miami. Our next game's a big game. This might be the biggest game of Saturday. We got number 10 Texas, 17-3, is playing at Tennessee, number 4 team, and they are also 17-3. That might be the biggest game on Saturday, I think.
I'm gonna let you have this, Roberts, and I'm gonna chime in.
He's gonna chime in. Yeah. So
we got the 2 UTs. Who's gonna win?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was looking ahead at the next game. Sorry.
No, we're talking about Texas and Tennessee. Who's got the real ugly orange? That's the one.
Well, the ugliest orange is north and east of my position right now. And we're going to have the Rick Barnes game here as we have Rick Barnes,
Yeah.
who formerly of
Former
Texas.
school. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He is not quite sure which UT he represents.
Not
Right.
quite. The one that pays him.
That's right.
Signs his checks.
That's right. The one that signs his checks is Tennessee, and Tennessee wins it.
All right.
Listen. This is a personal game. I don't care what Coach Barnes says. This is a personal game.
They're gonna shoot the lights out.
I just expect
Texas is gonna wish them Longhorns were stabbing them.
I want to know who the hell said I look 10 years older. That's what I want to know.
John did.
Hey, man, listen, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Tennessee as well. I'm a Riders coach here. I'm going with Tennessee because it's gonna be a nice atmosphere in there. I can say that it's gonna be a nice.
It's at Tennessee, and I just don't see. That's a tough place to play, and they've already lost one game in there this year with Kentucky coming in and winning. I'll just be surprised if Tennessee doesn't win this game. I greatly dislike both of these teams. I've done told most of the fanboys game people I hate the color orange. Like I just hate the orange. It's terrible. And you got both of these UT teams. You got the UT Texas team that cries about the down crap. And all they do is cry about that crap, and it just, like, grow up, just a little bit. It's competition. It's okay if somebody doesn't like you. Like, grow up just a little bit. That's my deal with Texas and Tennessee. And Tennessee. I mean, I'm a Kentucky fan. What can I say? There's not another team in the country that I would, ways. But with all that said,
so who are you going with? So who are you going with?
Pick 'em. That's what the show is called. Pick 'em.
With all that said, I'm going with Tennessee.
Is that the lesser of two oranges?
Oh,
aren't you
I'm
glad
going
I
with
said
Tennessee.
that?
Did you hear me? I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm going with Tennessee. And yes, I said that in my picks. Just so you know. And what's up, Chris?
What are we doing with him?
Spiratics. I appreciate you being on with us, man. So our last set of games, we've got number 9. Kansas is playing at Kentucky. And Kansas is coming off of a 3-game losing streak. And Kentucky now, a month later, is coming off a 4-game winning streak. A month ago, this game looked like Kentucky was going to get killed, and now not quite so much. So where are you guys at with this?
I got a question. Am I not wrong in saying that? Isn't it true that it's that KU or Kansas, is it not the University of Kansas?
I think it is.
Right, that's what I thought.
I don't think it's Kansas University, is it? I don't know.
No. I mean, they do that in their cheer. They say KU.
Yeah,
but I was
as UK, I guess. Is that a battle?
But I thought that they actually were the University of Kansas. It's kind of like, who's the real OU? Is it Oregon or is it Oklahoma? Right. So, but anyway, with all that being said, the real UK is Kentucky.
look at there.
In this standpoint.
Sporadic says Kansas will lose 87-83.
And I will agree that he's got the right team winning and the right team losing. I'm not sure on the score.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the score either,
We'll go
Chris.
with that. We'll go with that.
No.
All right.
CATS.
Cats. That's right.
Cats. Cats.
It's not near that damn slow.
Listen. I think, like I told you guys before, relax on Calipari. He was going to figure it out sooner
And don't
or
even
later.
start with me about that. You know I was pissed off.
Cal traded in the L's for T's.
Hey man, listen. Listen. You guys.
And it says John's tipsy.
Yeah. Go to Texas. I was ready to throw him to Texas. I was ready to get him up out of there. He hadn't lost it. Hey, listen. This is what I'm going to say. Calipari has done a remarkable job. I think he has got them playing great basketball now and compete. But with that being said, I do believe Kansas will come in here and end their 3-game stint in Rupp. I just think Kansas is.
I'll tell you what, Jason. I'm going to remember last year. That's all I can tell you. Because Kentucky to Lawrence, Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse last year and spanked their ass. The worst home loss in the Bill Self era. They're going to remember last year.
Remember thyself.
So with that being said, Self will have his guys ready. Because like I said, Kansas is going through their little lull. Hey, it's rough. It's rough in the Big 12. Hey, and you know how that goes. Top conference in the country. I think we all can agree on that. So they're just going. Hey, that's a rough part of their schedule, and it doesn't get any easier. But I do like their chances coming in rough to play because they have a Player of the Year candidate, and and I just think they're going to upset Rupp. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. What do you? So
Wild Bill, self-made man.
So we got a Kansas and we got a Kentucky in our picks. So, I do believe Kansas is going to come in ready to play. Self's going to have them ready to play. Kentucky went into Allen Fieldhouse last year and kicked their ass. I mean, beat them 20. We were ahead over 30 at one time. I think it wound up being like 26 or 27. I can't remember the exact score, but it was the worst home loss in the Bill Self era. And they're coming off of 3 straight losses. This is the 4th, I believe, 3-loss run in the Bill Self era. I don't believe that they've ever lost 4 games in a row since Bill Self has been there.
If he gets ejected, are they selfless?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Sporadics. I'm Kentucky. John Roberts is Auburn, and Jason Harrison played at Ole Miss. He's an Ole Miss fan.
You act like I got a bone to pick with you. You act like that I'm just an Auburn fan. I did go there. So
yes,
it's not
I know
like
you went to Auburn.
It's not like Jason up here Jason played, right? That's great. I mean, I worked for a team too.
Exactly. Hey, talk their talk. You're right.
That's right. That's right. I was in the dugout.
Yeah, everybody's important. You're right. You're exactly
right. What did you do?
Yes, I know. So
I was also in the media booth too. Yeah.
Who said ACC is the top conference? No, ACC. Now you know what.
All right. So my pick, I'm at home. I am gonna Kentucky. There's not a chance. 2 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have taken Kentucky in this game. But as of today, I am going to take Kentucky game. I think they have a chance. It's at Rupp. They have changed the lineup. They've been playing a whole lot better. They've got 2 shooting guards in there now and spreading the floor out for Oscar. which is where they need to be. And I'm going to take Kentucky in the game. They do have to control Jalen Wilson. Jalen Wilson is going to be defensively, he's going to be a tough match for them. So that's going to be the key, I think, Jalen Wilson. So on Sunday, our last game we're going to pick is Michigan State at number 1 Purdue, and this game is played on Sunday.
It's going to be hard for Michigan State to go in.
Purdue is actually playing right now. They're at halftime, 41-34 at Michigan.
They're at Michigan or they're at Purdue?
I think it's at Michigan. Yeah, it's at Michigan.
Right. It's at Michigan. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I think Purdue's going to get everybody a shot, but I just think Purdue wins that one at home. That's a home game.
Jay, that is so not right. I am not a closet South Carolina Gamecock. I can promise you that.
Well, ever since South Carolina beat Kentucky, that's exactly what you've been, because then it says that Kentucky loss was not a bad loss. So, yes, you are. You are a South Carolina Gamecock.
No.
I just made the point as to why.
No, hell no.
You got to make that loss look better. They got to win all their games for the rest of the way out.
Screw South Carolina.
You get beat by the worst team in the league. See? There you go.
Jason, who you taking? Michigan State. Michigan State, they just played about 10 days ago, and Purdue beat them at Michigan
State.
State.
The black and gold.
Now it's at Purdue.
Purdue, man. That home game, about to get in February. All home games are a must to win now for seeding. So
I'm pretty sure they also beat Clemson, Jay. just so you can know, I'm pretty sure they also spanked y'all's ass at the end too. Just say it. Hey, I mean, it's true. All right. Roberts, who you picking in this game? You taking the Boilermakers?
Yep. I'm taking the Boilermakers. Yep. Yeah, it'll be Purdue.
So
all of them.
I told y'all when we done this game about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, that Michigan State would probably be my second team. I've been a Magic Johnson fan my entire life since I was a little boy, and he's probably my favorite player of all time. And because of that, I've kind of, if I had to pick a second team, I would pick Michigan State probably. In basketball, I just mean basketball. But
so you're one of those guys.
But
front runner.
Purdue has played really freaking well, and I'm gonna have to take Purdue in this game. They just I thought Michigan State might win that game at home about 2 weeks ago, but I don't think they're going to go into Purdue and win at Purdue. So I'm gonna take Purdue in this game as well. And we have 12 games. So I do want to mention one thing. The Michigan State Purdue game is the only Big Ten game that I brought up. There is 2 games on Saturday that is in the Big Ten. Did I say Big 12 a minute ago? I meant Big 10. 10. Did I say Big 10? Okay. So there's 2 games in the Big 10 that on Saturday have Illinois at Wisconsin. Okay. It's like 14-7, 14-6, Wisconsin's like 12-7, and in my mind, if Wisconsin don't win this game at home, I mean, I don't see how you can put them in the NCAA tournament at this point. I just don't see how you can do it. And I'm bringing this up because a lot of people have been saying that Big Ten is going to get 7, 8, 9 teams in it. And you look at the Big Ten standings, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, I just don't see over 4 or 5 decent teams to even get in the dance. And Ohio State plays at Indiana. And both of these teams are like 11-8, and Indiana has won 2 games. They've looked better recently, and I think they're like, I don't know, maybe 13-7 or something like that now. So if they can win at home, they still have a shot, I think, at getting in the NCAA tournament. So that's 2 games. And then on Sunday, Rutgers plays at Iowa. Right now, Rutgers would be in. They're sitting like second or third in the Big Ten, and Rutgers win. Iowa's like 12-7, same place Wisconsin is, 12-7. They're playing. Both of them are playing at home. I think they're must wins to stay in the race, in my opinion. So I just wanted to throw that out. I'm just not real high right now on what the Big Ten looks like, and I just don't see how in the world they're going to get 7, 8, 9 teams in. I just don't see it. We're not right now. And they're going to be beating up on each other, and there's going to be a lot of 12-7 teams. And I don't see how they get in the NCAA tournament. I just don't. But that's my little rant at the end that I wanted to throw in. Looks like he's about to pass out.
I'm just doing my best, impression here. But yeah, definitely. Those games that you're talking about, yeah, they definitely are, must wins. So we've got a bit of an announcement.
We do.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You go ahead and make that announcement. You all worked out. So.
Yeah. So next Thursday night on that show, we will have a special guest of Peter Burns from the SEC Network.
1 week from tonight.
1 week from tonight. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on these here interweb nets. Peter Burns.
College SportsCast presented by the Fanboys. We're going to have Peter Burns on our show for a short interview. But he will be on our show, and we're all going to try to behave and act like we're kind of smart and ask decent questions. So
I'm not.
I mean, except for Roberts. Except for Roberts, he won't behave.
No. So I had a conversation with him several years ago. It was at the SEC tournament, and I caught him kind of during the game. So he kind of sat down at right below the set from where they were, and I got to talk with him for a little bit, and then Gabe Gross and Rhett Lashley came and sat down right next to us, and what they all had to say between the 3 of them, Gabe, Rhett, and Peter, they were just having a conversation because they're all in 3 different fields, with Peter being host of several different shows, different sports that have to come up, and he's got to be knowledgeable in everything. So he's got to be able to see everything and be able to play off against several different personalities and whatnot like that. Gabe, being a next major leaguer, is now analyzing college baseball games at that point. This is before he started coaching at Auburn. And, they were asking, Gabe, I mean, they asked him a lot of stuff about, being in the league, but what I found the most fascinating was like what he was talking about when he was doing, when he was analyzing games, because he did call games for Auburn on the SEC network, the SEC Plus, and then he would, from time to time, and then he would, be in the studio show as well. And so when he's in the studio show, he's got to talk about all the different things. And Peter was asking him a bunch of questions about, how much film do you watch on these teams? And, of course, as the season goes on and on, he's seen enough of these guys over and over that he can talk about them without actually having to really catch up on watching. Early on, you've got to watch on everybody. And with the fact of baseball being so interchangeable with different players, tons of new faces, not a whole lot of TV time at that time. SEC Network was within the first 3-4 years of being around. I think it was been around since 2014, and it was like right around 2016 when I had this conversation with him. So it was a while ago. So baseball was not really much, there wasn't a whole lot of broadcasts of baseball. So for the layman fan and even for broadcasters themselves, it's really hard to watch film on something that doesn't get a whole lot of tape on. So, but that was pretty awesome, getting to listen to that. And then they'd all talk to Brett Lashley, a disciple protege of Gus Malzahn, in the Hurry Up No Huddle, and how they were talking to him and asking him about, well, how do you call plays and how fast do you have to make that decision from one to the next. And this is right when I think Rhett had taken the UConn job. I think he was the UConn offensive coordinator at this point.
Right.
I think it was going into his first season, I think, at UConn when this happened. And it was really awesome getting to sit down with those three guys. And it's a story that I'm telling now, and the reason why I'm telling it now is because I don't think we'll have a whole lot of time to really go into it next week.
Yeah, but we probably won't.
It's something that there's, this was something that was really awesome. But what came of it was that, you really get to, know a little bit about Peter and, several other different guys. And I just stopped talking when I was there and just sat there and listened and went, okay. And
so next week, at the beginning of the show, I think Peter Burns will be on with us. And then after he leaves, we will kind of pick up our game day probably. And he's a busy man. He is giving us some time on our show for College Sportscast, so we really appreciate that. And we're working on another big one, and we'll try to get that one lined up pretty soon. Jason and I have kind of been working on that one, and so we're getting close. So we're working on another big one to get in. So when we get that, we'll try to announce that one as well. I do have the home for it. Go ahead.
Sorry, we're getting to a point where we may have somebody with us almost every Tuesday and Thursday. It seems like the way that we're pretty close. The way that we're lining up, because we've got several others down the road. But right now, we wanted to make that big announcement for for Peter. But we actually do have several different guys lined up down the road. Some college baseball guys. Some guys that we're going to talk NFL draft with, and more basketball guys, and then just ones that can do everything, and then a few that will be really fun football talk with a few of the ones that we got further on down the road. So just wanted to throw that out there. So it's gonna be pretty awesome the next several weeks.
Yep. So stay tuned with us.
And to the guy, hey, listen, huge announcements and everything. And to the guy in the comments, what is Sporadics?
Sporadics.
Abner's chicken is fire. He's the grilled kind and the breaded kind. That guy knows exactly what he's talking about.
He's a pretty man. So I do want to mention that our 2023 organization that we are trying to help and give to this year is Home for Our Troops. They have been around for 20 plus years, and they help build homes for wounded, injured veterans. You can give to them. For every dollar that you give, 90 cents of that goes to helping build homes for these veterans. And, they can build a home anywhere with this. So if they live in Pittsburgh and they want to move to New Orleans, they will build them a home in New Orleans. So, and it's completely cost-free for them. So just if you are giving to anything this year for 2023, we ask that you go to www.hfotusa.org. Anything else?
Not from me, Brad. How about you, Jason?
Man, not for me, man. It's like, as always, it is always a pleasure getting away and talking with you.
You're back on the chicken stuff, man. I'm trying to get it up on the screen.
He know. Hey, listen, grill, yes, he knows. He knows exactly. He knows something about fine dining.
There it is.
You see it.
Grilled is the best. Abner sauce is so fire. Place is toast.
That's a piece of toast. He mistyped there. It's a piece of toast.
I see it.
Unless he really wants a piece of toast. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty certain that he really means a piece. Yes.
Yeah, a piece of toast.
There you go. Yes.
Hey, if we is Abner still in Oxford? If we all go to Oxford one day, yes, I would definitely take you guys. But if he knows his thing, he know Bowfields has the best wings.
He's a big Florida State guy. He's huge down there. So
he knows about the southeastern cuisines.
Yeah.
And chicken. So he knows exactly that.
Right.
So
yeah.
Listen.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does. And he's been to Oxford.
Yeah, he said I almost committed to Ole Miss because of it. That's what he said.
Yeah, he's been to Oxford.
There he is. All right, guys. We've had a fun show. Appreciate y'all being on with me. Like I said, check us out on a week from today. We're going to have ESPN's SEC Network, Peter Burns on. And we're going to have a big show then. We will be on Sunday for a week wrap-up and live chat show. Be our next show. So we will see you guys down the road, and we'll see you on Sunday. I appreciate it, Chris. Y'all have a good night.
I have a good one.
See ya.